This is the All About Digital Marketing podcast.
Hey everyone, I'm Gareth, Head of Content here at Social Link, and welcome to the latest episode of the All About Digital Marketing podcast. Today, I'll be discussing creativity and OMB, 1-minute briefs, and how it's proved transformational for both me personally and for Social Link as a team and an agency. So let's get straight to it. What exactly is OMB, 1-minute briefs? If you don't already know, 1-minute briefs is basically a Twitter platform whereby a daily brief is posted Monday to Friday and invites creative individuals over on Twitter to submit entries in response to that brief. There's only one rule, which is you have 1 minute to create an ad in response to that brief. That's it. And the responses can be as wacky, as varied, or as on point as you could imagine from a whole bunch of creatives. It has a significant following online, going into the tens of thousands. I'll just double check my figures now, but as of today, we're looking at over 20,000 followers for 1-minute briefs on Twitter. So that's 20,000 plus people who are regularly seeing the content that's being created by the 1-minute briefs community or engaging with it. And every day there are new followers and new people contributing to the creative process over on Twitter. So as a concept, it's a very accessible one for anybody. All you really need is a Twitter profile and the ability to sort of scamp on a piece of paper or submit some notes from your phone. Or you could go a little bit more technical and actually create something using Photoshop or InDesign, or just something a little bit more polished, more finished. The idea behind it is that the idea is king. There is no rubbish response. It's all about creativity and seeing how you respond to a brief within a short time frame, to really focus your mind and remove that fear of failure, if you will, because you don't have time to self-edit effectively. In that 1 minute, you've got to digest the brief and come up with a response, come up with an idea. And the whole purpose behind it is to really, really focus the mind and get you thinking quickly without fear of sort of turning up a blank. You just don't have the time to. Okay, so anything goes so long as it's an idea in response to that brief. Not bad as a creative concept. And the amount of traction it gets on a daily basis is significant, but we'll come back to that later. Without wanting to eulogize about it, I started contributing to 1-minute briefs a long time ago, back in 2013. So that's a significant time now that I've been taking part. And the reason for that was I was just looking for a creative outlet, somewhere to engage with a community of people who shared my enthusiasm and penchant for all things marketing and advertising, people who I could learn from, people who I could share with, and that's exactly what it is. It is a community of online creatives, and that goes from people with eons of experience to students, to people who don't even work in the creative industries. You've got award-winning creatives there, and you've got people just starting out on their advertising or marketing journeys. So it really is a whole melting pot of people with ideas sharing daily and regularly supporting each other and giving feedback and critiquing each other's work in a sort of non-confrontational way, designed to help people just improve. I've never come across anything else like it online at all. There are no egos, which is really refreshing. and people do it because it is fun, and it is maintained as such. It is kept fun. So I mentioned at the beginning of my introduction that it's been quite transformational. And when I started out, I actually remember the first brief I ever responded to was to do with loo roll, toilet paper. And looking back at that first response I did, I've come a long way in my abilities, with Photoshop, with idea generation under pressure, being able to craft concepts. And I think that, as an exercise in creativity, it's very good for honing your creative skills. It forces you to think quickly and react. And I think all too often we can self-edit before we've even allowed an idea to germinate, to percolate. So it's all about getting the ideas down. And the good thing about OMB is you can enter as many times as you like, which gives you a great opportunity to get rid of all the ideas that you might have floating around in your head. And then out of that bunch, a really good one will sort of come across and may even win. So in terms of what you gain from OMB, you gain that sense of community. You get almost mentorship or mentoring from experienced creatives or people who participate daily, and ultimately it's a good creative exercise to do, especially if you find that you may have or may experience the dreaded writer's block or creative block or whatever. If you're stuck at a point, if you find yourself stuck, then it's a good way to distract yourself and re-engage your brain and do something different. So I said it's been transformational for me, and that's true enough. I've won multiple briefs. I've managed to win various prizes for some of the live client briefs and prize-winning briefs, all of which I'm very, very proud of. And over the last several years since I've been taking part, I've seen how I've developed personally by engaging in this creative activity daily. But what have Social Inc. gained from OMB? Well, we started back in March of 2019. After I'd sort of, convinced everyone on the team of what a great idea it would be to, take part in OMB daily and to really get our hands dirty with some regular creative work, because you can get bogged down in the day-to-day quite easily, quite quickly. But if you make time to do sort of something creative, then it adds that kind of extra dimension to what you do on a daily basis. So I managed to convince the team that was what we should do. So we started off by running our own 1-minute brief. We ran our own competition, a prize brief, which was to advertise social media marketing. And it was a great day. It really showcased the power, the potential of using 1-minute briefs as a marketing tool, but also it showed the potential, the power of social media as a marketing channel. We wrote a case study on it with all our data. You can find that on our blog. We'll make sure that in the sort of description, the show notes, there is a link to that blog so you can check it out for yourselves. But what else have we done since then? Well, we've also taken over OMB. We've given Nick Entwistle, who's the founder, the CEO of 1-minute briefs and the Bank of Creativity. We asked if he would mind if we took over for a couple of days, give him a break. After all, it is a fairly full-on sort of activity manning 1-minute briefs. So we took over 1-minute briefs for a few days, and again, we gained a lot from that, making connections with people, talking to people, networking. We learned a lot from, participating as well as managing. And as a result, we've created a partnership with Nick at 1-minute briefs. looking to sort of use or kind of create a model whereby we all work together to help each other out. So in that way, our clients can benefit from the impact that 1 minute briefs can have as a marketing tool, but likewise 1 minute briefs can benefit from our support and our insight, etc., etc. So everybody is pulling together there. Social Link has won prizes with 1 minute briefs. We famously won a KFC sort of sponsored brief, which was to advertise the I Love You Bacon Burger. Yes, so the team created an ad that was chosen by KFC as the winning ad for their brief. So, you know, that's we're very proud of that. Personally, I sort of represented 1 minute briefs. I represented Social Link during a World Wildlife Fund, a WWF brief, on which I got a runner-up prize. Again, it was all part of the day whereby you know, we were coming up with ideas for both ourselves and for Social Link and sharing that on Twitter. So again, you know, being able to say that, you know, we've created work for these massive brands is, you know, something that we are particularly proud of. More so, recently we won a brief that was run by City to Sea, which is a charitable organisation set up to help sort of raise awareness of plastic pollution and help sort of lobby and reduce the impact of plastic waste on the environment. So, you know, a really sort of a powerful brief, which was to engage people in thinking about single-use plastics when they go on holiday and try to explore options for plastic-free travel. You know, trying to get people to think differently about the way that they use or purchase or dispose of plastic, because of the impact that they can have on the environment. So as a result of that, we've created a partnership with City to Sea after having won that brief, and we're looking to work on a campaign for them on social media using some of the materials that we produced for that brief, and hopefully that will come very soon. Possibly it already exists if you're listening to this after the fact. So do check out what City to Sea have pushed out on their social media in terms of the plastic-free travel campaign. So as you can see, there are many sort of positives to be taken from engaging with 1 minute briefs. But ultimately, what it's all about is finding time daily to do some creative work, having a daily creative exercise that you pencil into your diary, that you schedule, and you make sure that you keep to. What 1 minute briefs has done for us here at Social Link is to give us that platform, almost to force us to engage creatively on a daily basis. And we've been doing it daily as an agency since our OMB in March of 2019. And we're going to maintain that because we can see the benefits of doing this. We're getting quicker, we're getting sharper, the ideas are flowing, and it's just making us better. And those benefits just get passed on to our clients. So, you know, we see it as a win-win. So if you're in need of some sort of creative inspiration, some motivation even, do check out 1 minute briefs on Twitter. It's just at 1 minute briefs, and you know, take part and contribute daily. We'll probably see you there. So yeah, I think that kind of wraps up this episode of All About Digital Marketing. Remember to subscribe, leave us a review, leave us some comments. It all helps towards you know, helping us grow. It drives us to create more useful content and to share valuable insights with you, things all about digital marketing. Okay, so until next time, I'll catch you later. Thanks for listening.